Hi everyone, welcome back to the Astrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin and today we're going to be looking at your August 2025 horoscope. This is a tropical Western astrological reading and you can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun and moon sign. However, if you've only got time to watch one horoscope today, then I would start off with your ascendant sign, which is also known as your rising sign. If you're wanting to see more astrological content and updates from me, please feel free to check out my Instagram and Facebook accounts. It's the same handle, which is Astrology. Without further ado though, let's get into your August horoscope. Hi Aries Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your August 2025 horoscope. I'm going to start off by looking at career and business for you this month before we segue into some other areas. So when it comes to career, we've got the Sun transiting your 5th house for the first 3 weeks of the month. So it'll be in the sign of Leo, which can see you feeling very confident. So professionally speaking, you may be interested in expanding your existing business further. Maybe you're having some creative ideas when it comes to being an entrepreneur or starting your own business. Even if you don't have your own business, the Sun transiting your 5th house can indicate that there may be some opportunities for you that can see you becoming a leader. Okay, so there could be some leadership position that becomes available, or perhaps you are just invited to step up to the plate and maybe give some kind of public speech. On a different level, Mars, which is your ruling planet, is going to transit the sign of Libra from the 7th of August through till the 21st of September. So the 7th house rules over all kinds of one-to-one relationships. So professionally speaking, this would be your client relationships, any kind of one-to-one service that you offer, as well as your relationships in a one-to-one capacity with co-workers. Now, Mars is your ruling planet, so it's important for you to pay attention to the signs that it transits and the houses that it transits, because this represents where you are placing your energy, attention, and effort. So Mars going through your 7th house can actually see there maybe being some conflictual situations arising, and again, this is between the 7th of August through till the 21st of September. So disagreements may arise with co-workers or clients. It doesn't need to be quote unquote negative. For some of you, this could just look like fierce negotiations. And because Mars is your ruling planet, to me, it appears that you are the one who is perhaps being the instigator. On a different note, this can see you maybe experiencing some kind of push or encouragement from another person to extend yourself professionally speaking. So when we have transits to our 7th house, it can lead to us having some kind of invitation or someone saying, hey, you should do this. Do you want this opportunity? Have you thought about doing this or that? And so it can actually encourage you to think outside the box and maybe take a bit of a risk, especially as we're going to have your ruling planet making an opposition to both Saturn and Neptune. So this is around the 9th and the 10th of August. I would ask you to make a note of those dates in particular, because this is when you may be led to make some very important decisions, especially as it relates to your career. Something to note is that Mars will be trining Uranus around this time, and it will also be trining Pluto in Aquarius. So to me, this looks like there's some kind of new opportunity, challenge, and risk involved, but that you will have the requisite resources or support necessary to take things to the next level in your career. Okay, so on the 23rd of July, we are going to have the Sun enter the sign of Virgo, and that will coincide with a new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees. So this means that your 6th house is activated, not just for the time of the new moon, but for the next 4 weeks, because we'll be in Virgo season. So with the Sun transiting your 6th house and a new moon here, this can see you being very focused on your work, life admin, getting through the tedious tasks of of whatever you've got going on professionally speaking, and this can see you being far more productive than normal. So with the new moon occurring in your 6th house and making a square to Uranus in Gemini, this can see there being something unexpected that comes up for you in a work setting. So this could be a new project that you were taking on board. This could be a new employee where you're suddenly having to fill a gap, so to speak, or you could just have this opportunity that comes your way that requires you to submit your resume or get your act together really, really quickly in order to capitalize on this opportunity. Now, when it comes to finances and property, on the 9th of August, we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius in your 11th house. So full moons are about something reaching completion or fruition, something coming full circle. And the 9th house is related to passive forms of income and residual forms of income. So for some of you around this time, you may be receiving a bonus or awarded damages. There may be an important development when it comes to things like your retirement fund, pension, disability, concessions, or anything to do with money that is awarded to you through governments or organizations. Okay, so maybe you are selling your property and you're expecting the funds to come through around that time. Of course, this is a general reading, so just take it how it resonates. Some of you may be receiving notification that there is someone who's prepared to invest in your business or in a business idea that you've had. Okay, so others of you may be looking at raising funds through fundraisers or a Kickstarter program. Now, as we're going to have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction happening in your 4th house on the 12th of August, it could very well be that you are looking at investing in a property, or perhaps you are anticipating receiving money from tenants. Maybe they broke a bond, maybe they are breaking lease. Okay, so there could be something that's coming through financially speaking as it relates to property and living circumstances. So when it comes to your property and living circumstances, just as a whole topic, to me it looks like the first few days of the month could be fraught with tension, or perhaps you're in sort of like a pressure cooker situation where you feel like you need to make an important decision. And I'm saying that because on the 1st of August, Venus in Cancer in your 4th house is going to square Saturn in Aries at 1 degree. Then on the 2nd of August, Venus in Cancer is going to square Neptune in Aries also at 1 degree. So essentially the first few days of the month, Venus is in your 4th house and it's squaring Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house. And so this can indicate that there's a bit of pressure on you, like, where do I want to live? Where do I want to go? Maybe someone is asking you if they can stay with you, if they can move into your place. Can I live in your holiday house? There could be a situation here where you feel like there's an opportunity that you may want to capitalize on, and it could be something that you need to act on very, very quickly, or perhaps there's just a lot of red tape here. Okay, so there's maybe obstacles, delays, and regulations, and you're trying to get to the bottom of, how it is that you can actually take steps forward with whatever decisions you're making about your property and living situation. Okay, so on the 12th of August, like I said, there's a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer in your 4th house. Okay, so even if you are not buying a property or selling a property necessarily, it could just be that there's an important decision or realization that you are having around that time. Now, Jupiter and Venus are both planets which bestow blessings, and they are associated with good fortune. And this conjunction only happens once every year, but Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So we actually haven't seen Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer for about 11 to 12 years. So if there's some sort of important wish that you have for your property and living situation, whether that is finding your dream property, or whether that is, having the ability to move out with the person that you want to move out with, or if there's someone and you want them to move out of your place, I wouldn't hesitate to make some kind of important, wish or manifestation attempt around this time. Okay, even if that sounds woo-woo, just give it a go. You've got nothing to lose, really. When it comes to family life, to me, it looks like the first few days of the month, there could be some tension here. And I say that because Venus is in Cancer in your 4th house, and it's squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 1st house, both at 1 degree, which is the Aries degree. So, I don't want to sugarcoat things. There may be unpleasant conversations or situations that arise, that involve your relationship with certain family members. If I had to be specific, Venus rules over women. So maybe it's a female in your family and you're just experiencing some tension here. Okay, you could feel like there is this over nurturing, sort of smothering energy or emotional manipulation with the Venus Neptune square. But this is really just the first 2 or 3 days of the month. So it doesn't need to be something that we hyper focus on. Mercury is retrograde in Leo as we enter the month. It will be direct once more on the 11th of August in your 5th house. Okay, so the 5th house rules over children. So Mercury retrograde here can see you maybe having important conversations with your children. If you've not been on speaking terms with them, this could see you reconnecting with your child or your children. For others of you, if you do not yet have children, you may be talking about, is this something that we want to explore? Do we want to start a family? Even if that doesn't involve other people, even if you're looking at becoming a single parent, it could just be like, do I want to do it? If the answer is yes, how would I go about it? So important decisions may be made during the month of August. Okay, so with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer in your 4th house on the 12th of August, this could indicate that maybe a blessing is coming to your family. So maybe this is healing in the lives of one of your children, or perhaps in the life of your mother or your mother figure, okay, whoever was the primary caregiver for you. Now, with Jupiter and Venus in Cancer for most of the month, this could see you entertaining at the home, having people over, and hey, maybe you've got some kind of family thing scheduled for the first few days of the month, and that's why there's pressure, because it's like, can you help me, sweep around the house? Can you help me cook or clean? And there could be some discord there. But in any case, to me, it looks like you will be entertaining during the month of August or having guests to the home. Okay, so towards the end of the month, on the 23rd of August, we will see Venus in Cancer square Chiron in Aries. So this can indicate there being an opportunity to have a healing conversation with a family member, but that is most likely going to be prefaced by some kind of flare-up or hurt feelings. So there may be apologies that are required, whether that's from you or them, around the 23rd of August. Things with your children will most likely improve more towards the end of the month when we have Venus entering Leo. Okay, so that will be around the 25th or the 26th of August, depending where you live in the world. And Venus is also going to, those last few days of the month, trine Saturn, it's going to trine Neptune, and it's also going to sextile Uranus in Gemini. So if there's been issues or discord with your children, I do think that things can lighten up more towards the last sort of week of the month, or 6-7 days of the month. Now, looking at love and relationships, on the 1st of August, we're going to have a Sun Mercury conjunction at 9 degrees in the sign of Leo in your 5th house. All right, so the 5th house is associated with love and romance. So the Sun Mercury conjunction here could indicate, for those of you who are single, that maybe there's some kind of romantic development that takes place between you and your boss or someone who's in a position of authority. in your workplace because the sun rules over those figures, or it could be someone younger than you. Maybe it's significantly younger because we've got Mercury there, or maybe it's a friend. It could be someone who is a foreigner or that you meet while you are traveling, just because of that 9-degree influence, although it doesn't have to be. For those of you who are in a relationship, the Sun-Mercury conjunction here in your 5th house could indicate that maybe you and your significant other are going to be booking a holiday, or maybe you're talking about starting a family. Okay, on a different note, we're going to have your ruling planet transiting Libra in your 7th house from the 7th of August through till the 21st of September. So when Mars goes through the 7th house, and again, Mars is your ruling planet, it can indicate that there's, on one level, maybe more conflict or disagreements with your significant other. But Mars through the 7th house can also indicate that for those of you who are in a relationship, that maybe the passion is coming back to your relationship, or perhaps your sex life is improving. Lastly, when it comes to love and relationships, at the end of the month, once Venus enters Leo, so this is around the 25th or the 26th of August, depending where you live in the world, things can improve in your dating life, whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship. You know, Venus only transits your 5th house about once a year. So this can see there being more opportunities for love and romance and dating. This can see there being more passion in your sex life, in your dating life. And just keep an eye on the last few days of the month, because Venus will be, like I said before, trining Saturn, trining Neptune, and sextiling Uranus in Gemini. And Venus is the planet of love and romance, and the 5th house rules over love and romance. So to me, it looks like the end of the month is more positive for relationships. But in any case, just in summary, Aries, this is a pivotal month for you, and that is because we've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries making all of these heavy-hitting aspects. So we've got an opposition to Mars, which is your ruling planet. We've got squares to Venus, which I've mentioned, and ultimately there could be some kind of important new objective that you are basically laying the foundation for in the month of August. So we've got Saturn and Neptune both in Aries. Now, they're not making an exact conjunction. That won't be until February 2026, but they're as close as they're going to get until then. So given that you are Aries, if you're an Aries sun, this could indicate that you're thinking about, what do I want for the next chapter of my career? Do I want to level up? Do I want a promotion? Do I want to start my own business? If I own my own business, can I scale it further? Can I take that in a new direction? If you're an Aries moon, you may be looking at trying to facilitate a relocation when it comes to 2026. So maybe you're doing the groundwork and the due diligence now in 2025, and you could hope to move in more like the first quarter of next year. Of course, this is a general reading, so take it as it resonates. It doesn't mean you can't move during that time, but this is just, what I see when I look at your chart or your energy for Aries as a whole. If you're an Aries rising, there could be some very big decisions that you are making on all different levels that affect you both professionally and in terms of your living situation, and decisions that affect your family or your family dynamics, or you and your significant other. So Aries, if you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It's the same handle, which is Kastrology, and I'll leave a link for that one for you below. Enjoy your month ahead, Aries, and I'll see you guys next time.